Good Sunday morning and welcome to Political Brew. I'm Donovan Lynch in for Don Kerrigan. I'm joined by Democratic analyst Betsy Sweet, Republican analyst Joe Bruno. Guys, it has been a week on the national and the local stage.
Exactly.
Now, I want to start on the issue of pardons. Now, on Thursday, President Biden announced he would commute the sentences of nearly 1,500 people and pardon 39 people convicted of nonviolent crimes. That list includes Mainer and U.S. Coast Guard veteran Michael Gary Pelletier. Now, the move by Biden, made with just weeks left in his presidency, marks one of the largest acts of clemency in modern American history. And this comes after Biden, remember, pardoned his own son, Hunter, who was convicted on gun charges. Now, Betsy, I want to start with you. Biden has kind of made a reputation for himself as a rule of law, upholder of democratic norms. That's how he'd like to be perceived. How do you think, this large clemency on top of the pardoning of Hunter kind of changes or alters that legacy?
Oh, I think he keeps that legacy. I think what it shows us, one, is that we have to look at our justice system, right? Because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people in jail at our expense, taxpayer expense, like the gentleman from Maine. Nonviolent crimes, been there a long time. He's been stellar. I mean, there's a million reasons that this guy should not be in jail, and it just haven't been because of our justice system, or injustice system, the way it works. So I think that this is a clarion call, and I think that the pardons that he has done and the ones that Trump did, and Trump is saying he's going to do again. I think we have to look at the politicization of our justice system. It is really creeping away from being a third independent branch of government. But I don't think that these clemencies and I don't think that these pardons, I think they're good, I think they're smart, and I think it's what he can do.
And I want to go to Joe for this one. A poll from AP, the Associated Press, came out and said that just 2 in 10 Americans approved of Biden's decision to pardon his son, Hunter. How do you think this act of clemency on Thursday kind of changes maybe Americans' perception of Biden?
Well, I think people are just starting to realize that the president has a lot of power. And all the, just kind of waving your hands and saying 1,500 people, all right, you're all good to go now. I think, when you look at clemency and pardons, but you don't know who they are. I mean, there's Gary Pelletier, I think his name is, out on the coast. He probably deserved a pardon. He served his time, he did what he had to do, and he's lived a good life afterwards. But now people are realizing, who are all these other people he's pardoning? But pardoning his son is a real issue because he not only pardoned him for past crimes, but also for future crimes, which is a real issue.
Well, Biden is not the one to make news for pardons. Trump, in a Time magazine,
in the past and future,
in a Time magazine interview, said that he would pardon the January 6th Capitol rioters on day one. This is an issue that Republicans kind of tried not to talk about, January 6th. Why make this such an issue if you're Trump and you're about to come into office and Biden is kind of drawing on popularity for his pardons? Why focus on this?
Well, like I said, people are realizing that the president has a lot of power to give clemency to a lot of people. Now, the January 6th thing, there was a report that came out yesterday saying the FBI had informants in the January 6th rioters. So, I mean, there's a lot that we don't know about January 6th. Do I think they all should be pardoned? Absolutely not. To come out and just give a blanket clemency to everybody on January 6th, I don't think is a good deal. I don't think it's a good idea.
I agree with you on that. And
thank you.
But I also think that we have to think. The way it gets reported is it's a blanket clemency that Biden has done. But every single one of those cases has been researched and looked at, just like the gentleman from Maine. So it's not like, I'll pick these 5 guys today, or these 100 people today, or these 1,500 people. These are all people who have served way beyond their time and deserve pardon. So I think more importantly is what we both talked about, which is we have to look and see the power of the presidency over this allegedly third branch of government.
But let's not forget, the governor of the state of Maine has the same power.
Yeah.
Well, and I want to talk about that power and kind of how Americans are viewing the justice system, because on the Hunter Biden pardon, Biden said the charges in this case has come about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. Trump, in his interview with Kristen Welker, talking about the January 6 pardons, says, I know the system. The system's a very corrupt system. What are Americans supposed to believe if both Biden and Trump are casting doubt on our justice system? Betsy?
I think it's time for a real good look and a real change of what we do and how politicized it has become, from the Supreme Court all the way down to district courts. I think, it is hard, and it's hard to believe if you look at the racism and the sexism and what's happening. We see lots and lots of different ways in which it's not perfect, and it's so far from perfect that now, and I think also there have been seeds of doubt planted, particularly by Trump, over and over again about how the courts are, it's a sham, they're rigged, all that kind of stuff. You say that enough, people start to believe it.
Well, when you look at the charges that were brought up against Trump, you have some doubts. I mean, especially when you have the DA in Manhattan bringing these charges, and then Attorney General in New York. I mean, some of those charges were pretty bogus. So yes, the system is broken. We need to take a hard look at it, but it has become politicized. I mean, everybody used to respect a judge. Everybody, because they were people of honor. And now you see what's going on in the Senate, and they're trying to push through all these judges last minute before the.
Which is both sides. Mitch
right.
McConnell did the same thing.
No, I totally agree with you. It's a problem.
And it seems like the perception of parts of the justice system as politicized is coming from both sides.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well,
if you are the one with power, you're all for it. If you're the one in the minority, you go, what's going on?
Now, I want to move on to Time Magazine. Now, this week, Donald Trump was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Time editor Sam Jacobs writes, quote, "For marshaling a comeback of historic proportions, for dividing a once-in-a-generation political realignment, for reshaping the American presidency and altering America's role in the world, Donald Trump is Time's 2024 Person of the Year." Now, Donald Trump was Person of the Year in 2016. People are talking about this being an age of Trump. How is this age of Trump maybe different from 2016? I'll start with you, Betsy.
Well, I mean, certainly the comeback is historic, and I think that it speaks largely to a shift, or not a shift, a deepening of the rifts and the divides and the takeover of fear and division and hatred, I would say, of our culture and our politics. And I think I would agree he's certainly one of the most prominent people of the year. I'm not sure it's a good thing.
Joe, what is this age of Trump?
I mean, this is the second time he's been Time Person of the Year. Back in 2016, I think Biden was Person of the Year in 2020. It's just a normal cycle, and like whoever's the next president gets Time Person of the Year. But Trump, he's taken advantage of the disenchantment and the disenfranchising of a lot of Americans under the Biden administration. And he took advantage of that, and he was able to come up with a campaign strategy that said, hey, look at your wallet. That's the most important thing that's affecting you. And those people wanted a change.
All right, we will leave it there. We'll be back with more Political Brew coming up in your next half hour. The Weekend Morning Report continues after this.